Good evening, students. Welcome to 7th Standard Social online class. Students, hope you are all safe at home by God's grace. In our previous class, we are learning Economics Unit 1 Production. Already we have studied what is mean production. Production means the change of raw material into finished product. And we have learned about the utility. Utility means usage. One satisfying power is called utility. That is utility again divided into three types of utility: form utility, place utility, and time utility. And we have learned the types of production. There are three types of production: primary production, secondary production, and tertiary or service productions, and their exam also we have learned. Today we are going to see about the factors of production. Already we know that what is the meaning of factors of production. There are some factors need to complete the product. That is we call factors of production. Human activity can be broken down into two components: production and consumption. Production, change of raw material into finished product. Consumption means using the product. When there is a production, a process of transformation takes place. The change of things, one things to another things, that is take place. Inputs are converted into output. This is we call production. Inputs are converted or changed into an output. The inputs are classified and referred to as land, labor, and capital. What we call input? The land, labor, and capital. These three things are very important to make an output. Collectively, these inputs are called factors of production. When the factors of production are combined in order to produce something, a fourth factor is required. Land is not worked by themselves, like labor and money also. Capital means money also. These three factors they have to combine by fourth factor. Goods and services do not produce themselves but need some conscious thought process in order to plan and implement manufacture. This thought process is often called as entrepreneurship and organization. This is the fourth factor. Now we will see the classification of factors of production. The factors of production is divided into two types: primary factors and derived factors. Primary factors are land and labor. These are naturally given and without them no goods can be produced. What are the primary factors? Land and labor. They are naturally formed and without them there is no production. Derived factors are capital and organization. Capital means money. These derived factors, when combined with the primary factors of production, they increase the total production. Now we will see the factors of production and their characteristics. Land, labor, capital, organization. So very important 2-mark questions and GK questions also. What are the factors of production? There are 4 important factors of production. Land, without land we can't work. Labor, worker. Capital means money. Organization, the total unit. First we will see land. Land as a factor of production, it refers to all those natural resources to or gifts of nature which are provided free to man. So land means it's a natural resources. All the resources available on the earth are called land. It is free to man. It is given by God. It's a gift of nature. It includes within itself several things like land surface, air, water, mineral, forest, rivers, lake, seas, mountain, climate, and weather. These are economically called as land. Thus, land includes all things that are not made by man. Land is made by nature, not by man. Land can take on various forms, from agricultural land to commercial real estate to the resources available from a particular piece of land. So land, it is in different form. We can see land in sea waves or mountain or plateaus or agriculture piece of land, like that. Characteristics of land. Land is a free gift of nature. Land is given by nature or God. It is not made by man. It is free gift. Man has to make effort in order to acquire other factors of production. But to acquire land, no human efforts are needed. To receive other factors, man effort is needed. But to receive, to get land, no human efforts are needed. Land is not the outcome of human labor, rather it existed, already it is existed before the origin of the human beings. Before the coming of the human beings, there is land on the earth. Land is fixed in supply. The total quantity of land does not undergo any change. We can't increase the land, or we can't decrease the land. It already fixed in quantity. It is limited and cannot be increased or decreased with human effort. No alternation, no change can be made in the surface area of land. Land is imperishable. We can't decompose, destroy land. It is imperishable. All man-made things are perishable. One day it will be disappear, but land is not disappear. And this may even go out of existence. But land is indestructible. Thus it cannot go out of existence. It is not destructible. Land is a primary factor of production. In any kind of production process, we have to start with land. Without land, where we go for production, where can we work? For example, in industries, it helps to provide raw materials, and in agriculture, crops are produced from the land. So for any kind of productions, we have to mainly depend upon the raw material. The raw materials are coming from only agriculture side or mining side. So we have to depend upon land. Land is immovable. We can't lift land from one place to another place. We can't take land from one place to another place. It is immovable. It cannot be transported from one place to another place. For instance, no portion of India's surface can be transported to some other country. We can't lift India, particularly Tamil Nadu, into Singapore side or Russia side. It is immovable. Land has some original indestructible powers. There are some original and indestructible powers of land which a man cannot destroy. Its fertility may be varied. Land fertility may be differ from one place of land to another place, but we can't destroy it completely. Land differs in fertility. Some land it gives more crops. Some land they won't give any kind of crops, like that. Fertility of land differs on different pieces of land. One piece of land may produce more and the other less. As a gift of nature, the initial supply price of land is zero. When we used the land in the production, it becomes scarce. Therefore, it fetches a price accordingly. So now we have complete the characteristics of land. Land is a free gift of nature. It is fixed in supply. It is imperishable. And it is a primary factor of production. It is immovable. And land has some original indestructible power. Its fertility also differs from one place to another place. Now we will see the second factor of production, labor. Labor means workers. So the human being also involved in the production process. So labor is a human input into the production process. Alfred Marshall defined labor as the use of body or mind, partly or wholly, with the view to secure an income apart from the pleasure derived from the work. So we are using the human body or human mind partly or fully in the production to increase the income. This is we call labor. Adam Smith is known as father of economics. Note this one, very important GK question. Adam Smith, he is the father of economics and his economics is wealth economics. This is also another important GK question. His economics is wealth economics. He wrote 2 books, classic works, The Theory of Moral Sentiments, that was written in the year 1759, and An Enquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nation, that was written in the year 1776. So Adam Smith, who was he? He was the father of economics. What economics is? Wealth economics, and he wrote 2 books, The Theory of Moral Sentiment and An Enquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nation. Now we will see the labors. You see this, the human beings are they doing missionary works, and here they are doing agriculture works, physical works. Here they are doing system works, they are mind work. So the work is different: machine works, physical work and mental work. Characteristics of labor. Labor is more perishable. The one day the worker will die. The labor is perishable than other factors of production. It means labor cannot be stored. We can't store labor for a long year. The labor of an unemployed worker is lost forever for that day when he does not work. Labor can neither be postponed nor accumulated for the next day. It will perish, it will destroy, disappear. One time is lost, it is lost forever. Labor is an active factor of production. Neither land nor capital can yield much without labor. Labor is not homogeneous. All the labors are not same in physical, mental, in every skills. Skill and dexterity vary from one person to another person. All the human beings, they are having different skill, and their texture also differ, their appearance also differ from one person to another person. Labor cannot be separated from the laborer. We can't separate the work from workers. Labor is mobile. The labor is the man moves from one place to another place, and from low paid occupation to high paid occupation. Individual labor has only limited bargaining power. When the labor is individual, he can get only a limited salary. He can't fight with his employer for raise in wages or improvement in workplace condition when he is an individual. When the workers combine to form trade unions, when all the workers they join together and they form some union, the bargaining power of labor increases. Now we will see the division of labor. The concept division of labor was introduced by Adam Smith. Note this one, important one word and GK question. In his book, already we know that one, An Enquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nation. Division of labor means dividing the process of production. We are dividing the process of production into distinct and several component process and assigning each component in the hands of a labor or set of laborers who are specialists in that particular process. So in the production unit, some people they are doing office work, some people they are doing missionary works, some people they are doing packing section, like that. So dividing the working process into many components and giving each component to some group of people who are specialists in that process. You see here, this car manufacturing company. This is bike manufacturing company. For example, a tailor stitches a shirt in full. In case of garment exporters, cutting of cloth, stitching of hands, body, collars, holes for buttons, stitching of buttons, etc. are done independently by different workers. Therefore, they are combining the parts into a whole shirt. You see here, A tailor, he stitches a shirt by himself. He make collar, he put buttons, he stitches, he make everything by himself. But in a garments, there are group of people, they are doing different types of work. Some people they are stitching, some people they are putting buttons like that. Some people they are making other things. Students are asked to visit the nearest private tailoring shop and government export industries. Students, you visit nearby tailoring shop, you can see what they are doing, and we can understand what is the main division of power. Students, we conclude this lesson up to this. Today we have learned about factors of production. There are 4 factors of production. What are they? Land, labor, capital and organization. Among the 4 factors, we have completed land and labor. Today I will give some home assignment. You copy in your classwork note and study well. Thank you.